Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I wanted to take some time to talk to you about how to do research in this class and what is going to be required of you in order to do so. So the very first thing I need you to do is I want you to go to the Eastern Florida State College website, the official website, which is easternflorida.edu, and you are going to click on Library in the top center of the screen. See, they have the COVID-19 warnings up here, so let's get rid of that. So click on Library, and if we scroll down to the center of the page, you're going to see a little search box. Do not use the search box. It overwhelms you with responses, so I'm going to show you a much quicker and more efficient way to conduct your research through the college library databases. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Databases by Subject, and it's going to give you this login screen. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your B number with a capital B, and you're going to use your 6-digit birthday as the password. It does not change, and do not change it. Keep that password the same. All right, so we are now logged in to the college databases. All right, so as you know, for your informative and your persuasive speech, you are required to have 3 sources from the college databases. So this is where you're going to go. So hypothetically, let's say you were doing a speech on PTSD. I would probably first check out behavioral psychology and social sciences. And if I click on that little plus sign for that tree, it brings up all the databases that are specific to that topic. All right. So me personally, when I'm using these databases, I like databases that are hosted by either EBSCO or Gale. And you can see where they're hosted from on the right-hand side. So let's look at Psych Articles. It's hosted by EBSCO. Opposing Viewpoints is hosted by Gale. Military and Intelligence, hosted by Gale. So for me, I like the way they present the information, the way the search engines work, the layout, all of that. So for me, it's always going to be EBSCO or Gale for my first choices on where I'm going to look. Okay? So let's use hypothetically Psych Articles, and we will click on Psych Articles and it will bring up the database. All right? So usually people look at this and they get very overwhelmed by what they see. They see all these various search options and they don't want to touch it. They are there to help, okay? So I'm going to go through a few of them with you and kind of explain how they work and whatnot. So the first thing that I want to do is let's just type in PTSD as an example of what we're trying to search. So if I just type in PTSD and I hit enter, this is what I get. I get 2,666 results, all right? That is a lot of information to go through, way more than what I would want to go through, all right? God forbid you use Google, and here, let's hypothetically just type it in and see how many different results you get, all right? 42,600,000 results, all right? So the issue with using something like Google is you don't know where all of this information is coming from, okay? Whereas with the databases, they have had to go through some level of academic rigor in order to be posted on these databases, all right? But even that being said, that much information can still be overwhelming, can be daunting, all right? So let's try it again. We'll click New Search, all right? And we'll do PTSD again, but this time we will do something published within the past 5 years. So let's say 2015, okay? Let's say hypothetically we want a scholarly peer-reviewed article, okay? And then let's say we want, oh, do they have the button? Usually yeah, we have the PDF full text included, and that looks good. Let's start there. All right. right, now we're down to 1,000 options, as you can see right here. All right, so let's try one final little detail. Let's add service animals into the mix. And now we've got 2 results. All right, I can weed through 2 results a whole lot faster than I can weed through 2,666 results. And this brings up a good point about when you're choosing a topic for any of your speeches, is make sure that you are specific in what it is you are trying to talk about, all right? Sometimes I'll get students who say, I want to give a speech on sharks. Okay, cool. What about sharks, all right? Are we talking about all the various different species? Are we talking about shark attacks? Are we talking about prehistoric sharks? Are we talking about the effects on modern ecosystem? What exactly are you talking about? Because that is an incredibly broad topic to just say, I want to talk about sharks, all right? So narrow it down. Another thing that I like about EBSCO databases is right here, it shows you on the left-hand side what it is. It says academic journal, all right? So let's go ahead and click on it. We'll use the first one, hypothetically, as one that we would be interested in. You'll notice on the left, it says detailed record, HTML full text, PDF full text, and then in the center, it gives you all sorts of logistical information about this article. And then on the right-hand side, there's a toolbar, all right? So the toolbar can be your best friend or your worst enemy, depending on how you use it. It has awesome things like Google Drive. It'll automatically save the article to your Google Drive for you. It has add to folder. That is a dangerous option, okay? Because here's the problem, is if you click add to folder and expect it to be there when you come back and exit out of your browser, it's not going to be, all right? As with any website, you need to create a login for that particular website. So in the top right-hand corner, there's sign in, and you would create an account with this company. Don't forget to do that if you're going to use something like add to folder or save or something along those lines, all right? Print, email, that's pretty obvious. Oh, there's a cite button. Be careful with the cite button, all right? So we'll click on cite. And as you already know in the syllabus, it says you're using APA. So if we scroll down, look at that. There's an APA citation. I can look at that and tell it's wrong, all right? And the reason why I can tell it's wrong is because I'm experienced with APA and I know what to look for, what not to look for, what should be there and what shouldn't be there. We're going to come back to that in a little bit. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about citations and how you can get some supplementary information on how to properly cite in APA. But just know that if you copy and paste this into Word, all right, if I copy and paste this into Word, and by the way, when you copy and paste it, right-click and use the third option, okay? Because if you don't, it gives you this weird highlighting going on in the background that's very difficult to get rid of, okay? So use the third option. You now need to format that into the proper APA formatting, all right? If you copy and paste this in, it is wrong, all right? So we'll talk about that a little bit later, and know that that is expected of you. All right, so we won't save that. Okay, so one of the nice things about a lot of these modern databases is there is a listen button. Right, now, I'm an audio learner. I learn by listening to something, and I also learn by doing, which is kinesthetic. So you can actually have this playing in the background, listen to it while you're doing something else, which I really, really like, okay? So let's do this. PDF full text, right? Click on it, and it opens up the PDF. And here's all this wonderful information about this topic and what they studied and how they did it and whatnot, So this drives me nuts, and I don't know why people do this, but it really does drive me nuts. Back everything up. Save things to your cloud, preferably. If you have a flash drive, it's a little bit better, but not so much. Everything we do today, we do on cloud. And the reason why we do that is because we can access it from anywhere in the world. And if something breaks, it's not my fault. The people who run the cloud, it's their fault. Okay? So if I click the little download button in the right-hand corner, this drives me absolutely nuts that people do this. All right, I'll make a new folder and let's pretend I'm going to be putting it in there. Notice it gives me a generic name over here called content server. It will do that for any PDF on these databases. This drives me nuts. People just put 1, okay? And then they'll put the next one as 2, or whatever it might be. And here's the issue with that, is when you're saving all this information, do you think you're going to remember what Article 1 is, or Article 5 is, or Article 3 is in the moment? Or are you going to have to open up each one of those articles in order to figure out which one is which? Rather than just taking an extra moment and let's say we just highlight the title, right? And we click copy, and we go to download, and we go to that new folder, and we click paste into the name. And now I have a much better idea as to what that article is when I just glance at it from the get-go, rather than having to click on each one of those articles in order to access it and view it. All right. I'm all about efficiency. I really am. I want you to get this done as quickly and efficiently and properly. Get it done as to the best of your ability as possible. All right. So one other thing I like, if we go back up here, click result list, we'll go back to the results, right, is if I wanted to, I could search all of the EBSCO databases at once. So in the top left-hand corner, you'll see choose databases, and you can actually select multiple EBSCO host-based databases at once and just search them all at the same time. Now, here's the issue you're going to run into is if you select all of those and click OK and click search, do not expect a quick yield of responses. It's going to take a minute. Okay, it's hunting through all those different databases. It is not instantaneous. Okay, so be careful with that. All right, next, let's go on to another database. So I'll go ahead and exit out of this. And let's say you want just general information. All right, click on general and look at that. All those databases just are specific to generalized information. All right. If I'm going to be working on a persuasive speech, all right, usually has something to do with some level of controversy, okay? News and current events, can't go wrong there, right? And 2 titles here scream out to me: opposing viewpoints and issues and controversies, all right? You don't get much more controversial than that. So let's try opposing viewpoints, and we'll go ahead and bring that up. And once again, very similar layout you're going to see to the EBSCO databases, right? So this is what I really like about Gale, is once again, let's see, what topic? Actually, here's a better option for you. Let's say you don't know what you want to do for your persuasive speech. If you go over here to Browse Issues, you can choose from one of the 1,000 options they give you. All right, great place to start. All right, so let's say once again we want to talk about PTSD. So let's scroll down to, actually let's scroll up. Depends on how they have it listed. Post-traumatic stress disorder, right here. So we'll click on it. Okay, and this is what I love about the Gale databases, is they give you featured viewpoints, academic journals, images, magazines, statistics, videos, viewpoints, references, audio, websites, infographics, news, and related topics, all related to that particular topic. All right. So once again, let's just, we'll pick this first one. Veterans deserve innovative and effective PTSD treatments. Click on it, and here's the full article, right? It's right in front of you. Nothing else to do. The article is right there. All right. Similar layout in the top right-hand corner. You have all these wonderful options. Once again, be careful with the cite button. Okay. And also, what I love is that it will read it to you right here. Click the listen button. Has all the other buttons, you know, different clouds, email, download, all that stuff is available to you. All right. So very simple, very easy to use. Okay. So next, if you guys are interested in news or pay for any sort of newspapers, stop doing it. You have access right here to World News, America's News. Somebody's calling me. Turn that off. Florida newspapers, Florida Today, New York Times, Orlando Sentinel, U.S. Newsstream. All of those are the paid accesses that are included when you pay your tuition. Okay? So one of my favorite things, and I'm kind of a nerd about this, is the America's News right here. If you click on that, it usually takes a minute to load up fully, but what you're going to see is a map of the United States that is clickable by state. Here it comes. And it gives you the majority of newspapers back to some time ago. So a wonderful historical reference that you can go through and check on various newspapers and news articles and whatnot. So really cool. How many of you are into Netflix? Yeah. So if you go to images and video and you click on feature films for education, sounds really boring, doesn't it? It actually isn't. It's like a free online educational Netflix. Not free, you pay for it, but you know, you've already paid for it with your tuition. And it has good movies. They've got everything on here. Modern day movies, classic movies. You know, they've got things like Deadpool. You know, it's all on there. So check it out. Something else to take into consideration is when you are making your PowerPoints or slideshows, you need to cite where images come from. All right. And I don't particularly care if you use PowerPoint, you use Google Slides, you use Prezi. It doesn't really matter to me, but you are required to have some sort of slideshow. So just keep in mind, wherever the images come from, you need to cite. The answer is not Google Images. All right, Google Images is a search engine. You need to actually source where it's coming from and who took it or who created the picture. Okay, if you took or created the picture, then you sort yourself. Underneath each photo in your slideshow, you will just have photo by whoever. All right, so that's that. So one other thing I want to show you really quick is some supplemental information on citations, okay? So what I want you to do when you have a minute is open up a new tab, and here, let me zoom in a little bit more for you. And we're going to type in Valencia College Citations. Excuse me. And notice on my browser, the first thing that comes up is MLA, APA, and Chicago Guides, okay? So click on that, and as you can see, it gives you all those. And we're actually moving on to the 7th edition now, all right? So click on New APA 7th Edition Citation Guides. Actually, am I going to have you do that right now? Okay, so they haven't completed that, so we'll use the old one just for the purposes of this class. APA 6th Edition Citation of Electronic Sources. All right, so click there. And notice it gives you a list of all the different databases that were listed on the college's database, on the college's library site. So what was one we were using? We were using psych articles. So we'll go down to the P's, and there's psych articles, and it gives you a color-coded breakdown of how to properly cite an APA, all right? And just a couple of things we'll go over really quick. We'll use the first one as an example. You have the authors listed, last name, comma, first initial period, space, middle initial period, and then a comma if you have 3 or more. And then if it was just 2 or more, you would use the ampersand after the R, okay? The date it was published, if it's any sort of periodical, you're going to need to check how frequently it's published in order to put either the month or the month and the day, all right? The title of the article. The title of the article is in sentence casing, which means you only capitalize the first letter, proper nouns, and acronyms, okay? Period at the end. And then we have behavioral neuroscience, which is the title of the journal. Notice that is italicized. And then we go to the volume and the issue number. Notice the volume is italicized, but the issue number is not. The page number, okay, or page numbers. And then below it is either going to be a DOI, which stands for Digital Object Identifier, or if it doesn't have that, you're going to end up putting a URL, which would be retrieved from, and then usually some sort of permalink, okay? You do not change the order that the authors show up, okay? The order that they show up in the article is the order of importance that the authors contributed to that article. You do, however, alphabetize your citations with each other, okay? So, you know, BO comes before BR, so that would be the correct order, all right? All right, let's go back for a moment. Once again, you see all of this. Also at the bottom, notice it gives you additional electronic sources that you can cite, all right? If we click back, it will actually give you a sample paper right here, which is really cool. Shows you how to format an APA. Really nice. And they have all this information for all the different citations. Well, not all of them, but APA, MLA, Chicago. Those are the big 3. All right. Let's see. So that is that. The last thing that I need to talk to you about is how to format your outline. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up for you really quick. If we go under my FSC and we log in, and I click log in, and I go to Canvas, and we'll just use my first class 50T. All right, and we'll go to Files, Class Files, and then we're going to click on Preparation Outline. And actually, it'll be a little bit easier if I actually download it. Just put it in here. Preparation Outline. We'll go ahead and open that up. All right. So first things first is if you want to use this as a template for you to, properly format your outlines, that is totally fine. I am okay with that. All right. So first thing you're going to notice is running head. And what it's going to be is capital R, lowercase h, colon, space, informative preparation outline. And then on the right-hand side, you're going to have the number 1. Now notice if I scroll down, the words running head disappear from the header. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do that really quick. So if I click Control N, let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit for you. That way you can see exactly what I'm doing. Double click on the header. All right. The first thing you're going to do is it's going to bring you over to header footer, and you're going to click different first page up here, okay? And we're going to go over to insert, and actually you could just stay over in header and footer. Go to page number, top of page. It's going to be the 3rd one down. Awesome. And then we're going to start typing. So running head, and then in all caps, informative preparation outline. All right. In order to shift it over, you're going to hit the tab key. All right, and it will automatically shift that over. Now, here's an issue. What's wrong with this? You can already see it. All right, is if I click Control A and go to Home, we're in Calibri 11. I want Times New Roman 12. All right, Times New Roman 12. And now it's done correctly. Now keep in mind, when we scroll down, because we checked that box up there, the different first page, notice first of all, nothing is going to show up. So we're going to do the exact same thing again, double click. Don't uncheck the box, leave it alone. All right, page number, top of page, third one down, and we'll start writing again. Except this time we're not including the running head, the words running head, informative, preparation, outline, hit tab, awesome. Control A, once again, because we did the different first page, we need to reset it to Times New Roman, 12 pitch font, all right? So now, if I hit enter, it shows up on every page, which is exactly what you want it to do. Okay, so we won't save that. Center of the page, informative preparation outline, your name, and then the institution that you're attending, and then at the bottom, this paper was prepared for public speaking, SBC 2608, section, what section are you in? There's either 50 or 73T for this semester, okay, taught by me. Keep in mind too, I have all of these notes on the right-hand side of the screen, all right? So if you're forgetting any of this, I do have it all listed. All right, so the purpose statement. Purpose statement is actually one sentence, but I want you to answer all of this information in one sentence. I am speaking to inform the audience about blah, 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 whatever it might be. All right, so all of that's going away, and then you're going to replace it with one sentence. All right. The introduction is going to be written in paragraph format. All right. Do not get up in front of us and say, hi, my name is, and today I'm going to give a speech on this. All right, that is the most boring, droll thing you could possibly say. All right, you're going to lead off with an attention grabber, which is going to be the first paragraph. And then the introduction, previewing your main points, and telling us why we should listen is going to be a second paragraph. All right, so for example, when I was 12 years old, my parents took me to a music store called Sam Ash Music. It was the first time I'd ever been to a store like that, and it forever changed me. I started taking lessons with a drummer by the name of Gary Moffett, who happened to be the drummer for 38 Special. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anthony Spiro, and today we're going to be talking about drums, specifically the history of drums, modern-day drums, and how you can become a drummer. By the end of this performance, you should have enough information to pursue drums as a hobby if you choose to do so. That's an introduction, not hi, my name is. Okay, that always gets me, it drives me nuts. All right. Central idea is a one-sentence summary of your talk. Preview statement is a one-sentence preview of your main points. Read the book. If you want more clarification on that, that information is in the book. All right. The body, keep in mind, in the syllabus says you have to have 3 main points. All right. And the big thing that I want you to get from this, and we'll talk about organization a little bit later, is formatting. So I want to show you how I do my formatting. So if we type, oh, so got cap locks on. Main idea 1, okay? Hit enter, and if I hit dash and hit space, notice it does the auto formatting. So we're going to have sub idea or sub point 1. Now if I hit enter, it does the auto formatting again. If I want to shift it over, I would hit tab, and then I can do sub point 1, okay? And once again, if I hit enter, it gives me another one, and I can hit tab, shift it over as far as I want, or I can hold down shift and hit tab, and it'll bring it back, okay? So the big thing is you have your main idea. Sub point would be a main theme that you want to discuss, and then you can have a sub point, which would be details about sub point 1, which then has to do with main idea 1. The whole idea is I want you to create some sort of organization tree, okay? Make it make sense, all right? So many times people are all over the place and they don't organize their thoughts, all right? So something else I want you to take into consideration is everything you write in this outline is going to be written in complete sentences. So notice down here at the bottom where it says, where do I have it written? Right here. I intentionally write this, and usually in class I'll have a student read this out. Sub-point. These are further developments of the sub-point above. They do need to be written as full sentences. You wouldn't believe how many people read they don't, because our mind fills in what we want to see, not what is actually there. Okay? So, scroll down to the bottom. Conclusion. This is a written in paragraph format, and what it's going to be is you're going to review what you talked about. We talked about this, this, and this. All right. Call to action. If you would like to get more information, visit this website, call this number, email this person, whatever it might be. Conclude your speech, and finally, thank the audience for taking time out of their day to listen to you talk. All right. I'm sure people have a million other things that they would rather be doing, and it is important for you to be gracious and show gratitude for people who listen to you. Okay? And then finally, at the bottom, you have your reference page. This evil thing. All right? We already covered this. This is just a rough draft kind of to get you started. And if you have any issues with anything, send me a copy of it and I will go through it and give you some advice on it. Okay? All right. So that looks like it is it. Hopefully that was helpful to you, and hopefully you have enough information to start getting some research done on your informative or your persuasive or your group project. If you have any questions about this, please make sure you contact me and I'll do my best to answer all those questions. Best wishes and good luck with everything, and hopefully things go smoothly for you. I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.